Howdy folks, and welcome to another VCU, nope, I lied, VSU Dynasty episode here on YouTube. I'm Cody Schaff with Tisbury, 33 games today. We're going to take on Troy. So, anyone care? That's pretty mean. I care. I know you care. But why do we care? Well, let's look at Troy and see what they're rocking with. So Troy is going to be led by Eric Moore. He's a scrambling quarterback, 87 overall. Pretty good player here. Rushing the ball, Eric Moore again, and this is just through one game. And see, the fullback got 5 carries, halfback, and Anderson. I'm wondering, is this maybe a triple option team? Usually when the fullbacks get involved, but do have a lot of passing yards, and Keith Mark, he just might be the number 1 rated running. They have him running back 1 for some reason. You see, overalls aren't too crazy. Greg McGrew could be someone to watch in the future. Scott Petty, the leading tackler through one game. Shane Phillips, Corey McAfee, Gerald Miller, Mark Grant, Fred Trangan, and Tim Lambert will have 5 tackles. Petty in the backfield, a good amount here. 2 interceptions for Shane Phillips, however. We saw interceptions hurt us in the last game as well. McAfee got a forced fumble, no blocks, no safeties. Too early in the season to really check up on any of the awards or anything like that. Also, nothing really busting in recruiting so far. Just a couple visits this week, which we can highlight a little bit later. But let's just hop right into the game. We'll have Game 2, Season 2 underway in just a moment. And here we are in Montpelier as the Troy Trojans come to town to take on the Vermont State University Blue Jays. Coach Holmes still looking for that elusive first win. We're going to start off with Jadon Warren, drop back to pass over to Kaylon Foster for a nice little gain of 8 yards on 3rd and 2 is what it brings up. And try to get the running game as a bigger portion of their offense, and they'll be stopped for a loss of 1. Warren runs into Gerald Miller, who gets the tackle for a loss. Keeps the Blue Jays away from really sustaining this drive. They will punt to Troy. Troy ran all over their opponents last week, and now they're going to flip it over to Grant. Grant has a lot of running room on their first drive, and Jason Grant picks up 21 yards. And there'll be a lot of running in this game by both teams, so it's going to be a ground-heavy game. 2nd and 10. Moore keeps it. Eric Moore is going to run to the left side, try to truck a defender. It gets brought down. It's 3rd and 2. As the first real stop behind the line of scrimmage for the Jays. Moore flings it over to his receiver, Anderson. Picks it up. Adam Anderson, 28 yards on the fly right by the goal line. And they are about 3 feet away, and they will score it on their next play. Eric Moore, 0-yard run. That's how close they were to scoring that first time. Troy will go up 7-0 like most of these opponents have in this series. So Jadon Warren playing, after that first game, looks like he is elevating his game a little bit. He'll run around and get sacked, though. Slow start to this afternoon. Fred Trangan is going to get the sack behind the line of scrimmage. But the offense looked a lot better in that first game, put up a handful of points, and they're just trying to really roll off that momentum. New offensive coordinator over that drive, like the first one, didn't last very long. Carrington gets the pitch, can be dropped back behind the line of scrimmage 3 yards. So that sets up a 3rd and 9 for the Trojans. And the Blue Jays force the 3rd and long. Moore. Move in the pocket, slings it right to Hurd. No one in the area. And Sean Hurd, 45 yards. Backbreaker for the Vermont State University Blue Jays. Moore on the design QB run and stopped by Wesley Sledge. Shout out my good friend Adam. Loves Wesley Sledge. Sledge was all over the place in this game. You'll see later on. As Hurd, another big conversion on third down. Sean Hurd, the man, yet again. 63 yards, both of those coming on third and long situations. And Dayron Clark got a little too handsy up with Eric Moore. Face mask grab, add on a few extra yards for the penalty. And that's one of those mistakes you cannot make. So now Vermont again with their backs right to the goal line as it is about 4 yards away. And where is he going? Yeah, so Sherman, I believe, was the man who just did not attempt to tackle the running back. So that's cool. That's always fun. Warren again trying to move around, get Zach Hill. Big spin, able to get a defender on the ground. Pick up 7, needed 6. Hill will be shaken up a little bit, but he will return. Vincent Collier, the man who did it on the ground, through the air, and the first week on campus muscles his way for 6 yards. You only have a couple of years with Vincent Collier. It was a junior college transfer down there in Florida. Warren looks like he will put Foster on a slant. He'll wait for it to develop. No one there, and that's picked off. Hearn picks it. And the first turnover comes early for the Blue Jays. And they've been doing a better job at limiting the turnovers. Obviously, last year they were down so much. They had to throw it so much. And big pancake there. And then Eric Moore picks up 12 yards. McKinley will drop down. He's going to be in a QB spy. Moore over to Lee. Lee left his hands on the bus. And now it's turned into a 4th and 3 situation. Field goal was missed, so nice bend but don't break possession. But right there, Phillips ran the route better than Calvin Jackson did. And this one, no one reacted to the ball other than the defensive back. And so far, like I said, Warren doing a better job at not turning the ball over. I think it just 1 interception last week. There he is, just gives it away right there. And just like that, another small hole we go into a nice hole. We go into the second quarter, and it's going to be Lee up the middle for another 6 points. As this one's getting ugly early, 21-0. Vermont State needs to get something. All of their drives either ended early or gone 3 and out. Nothing really sustainable here. As I think the first down of the game, Vincent Collier. The first or second. I think Zach Hill had one a little bit earlier. But Warren, you saw him a little cold there. We'll see how he does. And he immediately throws another pick. Goodness. Is that Hurd again? I think that was, Hearn again. James Hearn. You have Sean Hurd hurting us on the offense. James Hearn killing us on defense in an acrobatic pick. And just like that, you have 5 drives that end up either an interception or 3 and out. So it's not going well. Adam Anderson picks up 15, already 40 yards for him. This team, like most of these teams, are going to go fast pace. And they'll send a blitz off the left side, and they'll go to that left side, but coming across the middle, pick up another first down. Michael Lee, 12 yards. 3rd and 2 after a couple plays. They'll bring Drew Raid towards the line of scrimmage. Moore will stiff arm him, but right there, that's Wesley Sledge able to bring down the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage. A tackle for loss, already 3 for Leslie. Like I said, he's moving around a lot in this game, and bringing Wade into that spy in terms of line of scrimmage, put an extra hat on him, and let Sledge make the play. A field goal makes it 24-0. Jadon Warren going to go over the middle. Calvin Jackson makes a big catch. 25 yards, in fact. And we have 3:25 left in this first half. And 3 interceptions, 48 yards. That's a big play to kind of get the offense in the right direction. Warren looks right, and there he is, Andy Tolbert, but left his hands on the bus, like we said. But redemption is Tolbert going to pick up the curl, shed the tackle, and he is off to the races. No one will catch him. Big 49-yard touchdown by Andy Tolbert, and he is looking like wide receiver 1. Look at him just break this tackle, Get off of me, sir. And he is unopposed all the way. Looks like they're playing cover 0. So no safeties back there to help. Just able to break the tackle. Warren fired up. And we go to a 24-6 game. Collier can't get brought down. He'll fall into the end zone for 2 more points. Check out Miami of Ohio, a MAC team, and they went to the national championship game last year, number 7 right now, and they're falling behind Syracuse. So we'll see how that game develops as well, something to keep an eye on. Nick Lindsay couldn't break on the ball. It was hesitant. Carrie Edwards gets 12 yards. And they'll hurry it up. Again, right there, if he just kept breaking on that ball, he had the right read, I'm trying to say. He just kind of gave up on it too quick, and Moore is going to go up the middle again. Going to stiff arm Drew Wade and brought down 20 yards gained, however. Big play by Eric Moore. 1st and 10 as they're by the 30-yard line. Lee gets the screen pass, breaks the first tackle, can't escape the second tackle. That looks like Thomas Holt there getting on from the edge all the way out there on the screen. 3rd and 8. Moore has all day to throw. I could have made that pass with that much time, and that's going to be a 1st down. Extends this drive, and we saw it last week, a late drive in the first half, which would have, kept the game a little bit reasonable. They just let the other team march down there, and I think that's Justin Wilson able to just tackle the guy into the end zone. Carrie Edwards again, another big catch, and that is going to be 31-8. But then Andy Tolbert again, have yourself a day. Just beats his man off the line of scrimmage. He goes to the house. 172 yards passing, and Warren again. And him and Tolbert cooking up early. They'll go back to try to get 2 more. They'll give it to Collier again. He'll spin up the middle, but is tackled. Andy Tolbert, though, he is having himself a day. 2 long touchdowns. So we'll see. 3rd and 4. Can Vermont State stop the bleeding here? Anderson picks up a 1st down and plenty more. 12 yards. And we just saw Vermont State just let this team march down the field just a moment ago. Will they do it again? Trojans zip it all the way around the field, and Nick Lindsay's getting kind of bullied. 18 yards given up there. Another 1st down. 2nd and 1. And now they're just 6 yards away. Sean Hurd, another big catch late in this one. 1st and goal after that Hurd catch. And they will tiptoe into the end zone. Nick Lindsay again just can't be in the right place. He's been right there for so many big plays on the Trojans, and he's not having a good half. They will go into the locker rooms. It's 38-14. Vermont State has a lot to do to catch up. And worst case scenario, the Trojans will start with the ball as they will get Carrington. And again, that's Nick Lindsay. He's going to actually pick up this fumble, as this is a clean fumble, folks, and that is a big break for Vermont State. Nick Lindsay gets beat on the route and then comes back and is able to pick up the fumble. And right there, number 17, our outside corner. He is going to force that fumble, and we'll see if Vermont State can pick up points. They need them desperately. At this point, you need at least 3 points at every single drive. Andy Harris, the big tight end, he's going to take a stiff arm to number 20 and then get all the way up to about the 30-yard line, 28 yards on the catch. You want to use him a little bit more, try to get him more involved. Again, it's 80 speed there. Was a fullback, moved him over to tight end, and I think he can be a big piece of this team. Is that Kalon Foster? Yes, it is. Got a foot in. That'll be 13 yards. They will review it, however, and we'll take a look here as Foster has possession there. Foot's down. It depends. Are they going to count that first foot, that left foot that was down when he caught it? What are they going to say? And they will make the call stand. So the correct call on the field And this is Alan Carter back there, the power back, trying to missile his way in for a couple. He will. Big play, 21 points now for Vermont State, the most they've ever scored here in Division I FCS, or FBS football, excuse me. And actually, they're going to go to the air, try to pick up 2 more as they're in this situation. So it will stay at 20, excuse me, but still 20 the best. I think it trumps 16, which was the previous best. We're going to take a look at Miami and Syracuse again. They each got another touchdown, so still a 7-point deficit as Miami of Ohio Redhawks take on ACC opponents. It's like 4 verts down the field, and Anderson dropped it. Lucky play there. 1st and 10. Moore. He's going to fumble the ball. This is picked up, but still a sack and a fumble. I believe that's number 98, Ashari. Yes, it is Ashari Mosley, able to get through the offensive line. See, look at Vermont State wearing their throwbacks today. I think those are some clean uniforms. Very simple, but I love the shoulders on that shoulder stripe. They're going to set up a screen pass, and it's Reggie Smith who's able to get to him. Covered up the screen, Moore trying to run around for his life, and Reggie Smith, the run-stopping specialist, actually gets in there and does some good. So it's Vermont State again with the ball. Warren runs around on 3rd and 4 and picks it up with his legs. That is a dynamic part of this game. We've seen them kind of get away from the running game as they've been coming down or falling behind on points, and Traeger is going to pick up the forced fumble and another turnover, the 4th of the day for Warren, and he can't believe it. He is hard on himself. He is the leader of this team. He takes a lot of responsibility, and Parker got shot right through that revamped offensive line, and they've been playing a lot better than last year, but still some blemishes. Moore pulls it, keeps it, and tackled by Drew Wade, a gain of 10 yards. Moore again is trying to run and escape, and this time it is going nowhere. Eric Moore sacked by Deron Clark, the star of the defense, especially the defensive line last year, and he still is going to get a lot of playing time and still starting on that right side. They'll mix and match him around. Warren shoots it and intercepted again. Hearn, for the 2nd time, picks up the interception. Actually, that might be his 3rd interception. But either then, he's picked them off multiple times at least. 2nd and 9, but this time they're going to go across the field and pick up the 1st down. What a throw to Jason Grant. Eric Moore showing off the arm strength. Moore this time will go to the well again, but one too many times. Nick Lindsay, he's going. Can he be caught? No, sir, he will not. And the man who's been picked on all game finally fights back. Nothing going to stop to the bully until you punch him in the face, and that is 6 points worth of punch in the face. And again, like they've gone through all day, going for 2. See if they can get it this time. They creep the safety in, but some good push by the offensive line. And Alan Carter's in there for 2 points. 38 to 28. So all of a sudden it's a game now. Just 10 points trail the Blue Jays. What can they do with it here? Michael Lee goes for 20, and those explosive plays. I think right now Vermont State just isn't capable of winning the trench war here. And Carrington stumbles his way for 23, so that's back-to-back plays. That's 43 yards on the ground in back-to-back plays. Moore, soft touch. Matt Garcia, 16 yards and keeps the drive alive. I think that was 3rd and 7. 3rd and 2, trying to keep them out of the end zone, and Bozeman says, try harder, as he goes in untouched for 4 yards. And that trench play, like we said, really hurting Vermont State. Warren hands off to Carter. He has a nice little lane. He's running, and he's going to go pick up 25 of his own, and 25 adds to the total, and 100 yards between all Vermont State carriers. They'll give it back to Carter on 2nd and 2. He'll pick up 8, just like the run before. Vincent Collier out for this game, all of the second half with a concussion. Tolbert knocking on the goal line, 250 yards, and look at that, 168 for Andy Tolbert. It's the Andy Tolbert show here today. And Hassan Everett will be the decoy as scampering is Jadon Warren, 35 points, and again, it's a 10-point game. However, they'll get 3 more. This is a big pass over to Tolbert. He will keep his total going. As here are the last passes as Vermont State will lose, and Warren is sacked, and that's a cherry on top for the Trojans. They come into Montpelier, put up almost 50 and win. But despite that, a better showing of Vermont State than we've seen them all series. 5 touchdowns, 1 on the defensive front of things, and as explosive as we've ever seen this Vermont State team be, as Eric Moore wins player of the game. We'll go to the locker room with questions for Coach Holmes. Coach able to put up 35 points in this one, despite the loss. I mean, the offense is getting better and better every week. What do you have to say about that? Well, I think a lot of the new players last week with their first run with this team, now they have an extra week. Jadon is doing a really good job at keeping these guys late, going over film, going over routes, going over stuff, and we've seen big contributors from new players. Coach, it looks like the trenches are someplace you guys are still struggling with. You have a whole new offensive line, basically a whole new defensive line, but still a lot of holes on both sides. Is that an area of concern? I think numbers speak for themselves. We have to get better, both running the ball offensively, stopping the run defensively, and creating some more pressure on the pass game, and then also keeping pressure away from Warren in the pass game. I mean, he's able to run a little bit, which helps, but I think despite the narrative that this team isn't very good in the trenches, I think we're a lot better than last year, and I think once we get into conference play, it's going to really kind of even out and kind of shine, and we're putting up a lot of points. We have a lot more time than last year. I think there's some knuckleheaded decisions that are being put out there, which end up with some interceptions, which end up in turnovers, and you can't win games without turnovers. But I don't think the Lions are at fault there. Coach Andy Tolbert, over 170 yards receiving. What'd you like from him? Yeah, he's come in since day one, put in the work, and this is the fruit of those labors. 2 big touchdowns, and we needed it most in that first half. Unfortunately, that was sandwiched between 2 lapses in defensive coverage for those, couple last minutes there. But Andy's been awesome since he's been on campus. I talked to his coach in junior college, said he's a workaholic, really just needed a chance, and I'm glad that we're the ones that able to give it to him. What a game. I mean, a couple defensive possessions and some wasted opportunities and some bad turnovers that could have made this game even closer than what it ended up being, but still a great fight this team put up. One of the best games we've had, first time getting, multiple sacks like that and pick 6 for some defensive touchdown. First, Andy Tolbert went off. Definitely a breakthrough game, and I think we're going to see much more of that. Now checking around the league, some notables. Fighting Illini fall to Georgia State University. Michigan State beats Eastern Carolina like they're supposed to. Purdue goes down to Louisiana Tech, and that's what we got. So that's going to do it here for this week's episode of Vermont State University. We're getting better. Let me know down in comment sections below which player have you been most impressed with this year. It's been Jadon Warren staying healthy. Vincent Collier, I know he got hurt in this one. Andy Tolbert went off. Wesley Sledge has been doing well. And who right now is your favorite player? Let me know in the comments below. But we will see you next time here in Tidsbury 33 games. While you're down there in the comments, also hit the sub button. Also hit the like button, the notification bell, share it around with all your friends who might enjoy this. I'm excited. Season 2 is going off really, really well already. I'm sure the 2 best videos of the series probably these last 2 games, so I'm excited to keep going. And once we get into MAC play, I think we could pick up a couple of wins this year, maybe lift some recruiting suppressions I have on myself as the team gets better. So again, thank you so much for joining us here in Tidsbury 33 games. I'm Cody Shelf, and we'll see you next time, folks. Thank you.